In late April, a former scientist went on YouTube and used some really big words.
Reactivated coronavirus expression.
The best words.
Sequences in the soil.
14 million views later, nothing. Was it because she was spreading harmful medical claims, or was it because she knew too much?
And they'll kill millions, as they already have with their vaccines.
I investigated her story to find that you can't stop Judy Mikovits because you can't stop prevarication. I'm Dr. J, and this is The Dose. Today, I want to talk about Plandemic, a well-produced video that has been passed around Facebook recently before ultimately getting taken down. The documentary-style production asserts that SARS-CoV-2 pandemic is a planned medical conspiracy through the eyes of former researcher Judy Mikovits. Mikovits is portrayed as a victim, inviting sympathy and trust from the viewers. However, as I hope to explain, production value does not correlate to credibility. Unlike her claims, I will be giving you sources to all the content in this video, which you can access from the description below. Let's get right into it.
Dr. Judy Mikovits has been called one of the most accomplished scientists of her generation.
Not true. Well, at least not by any scientist. This is quoting Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a lawyer and anti-vaccination activist. Later in this video, Mikovits would claim that she is not anti-vax.
I'm not anti-vaccine.
However, many have contested this, including the 2017 version of Judy Mikovits.
And the biggest health threat in the United States, public health threat right now, is vaccines. The vaccine program should go away right now.
Let's move on.
Her 1991 doctoral thesis revolutionized the treatment of HIV/AIDS.
It didn't.
Dr. Mikovits published a blockbuster article in the journal Science. The controversial article sent shockwaves through the scientific community.
A major theme in this video is Mikovits' 2009 paper that claimed viruses cause chronic fatigue syndrome. This paper was later retracted because no one could replicate it, even her original lab. In fact, Mikovits was a co-author on a study 3 years later that disproved the findings of her original paper. And at the time, she admitted the original paper was wrong, and it was time to move forward.
Judy, you wanted to add something?
Exactly. I mean, we so rigorously excluded our initial findings, looked at the plasma, we've looked at the serum by deep sequencing technologies, and our original work cultured it at length. It's simply not there. But now is the time to use these valuable materials and move forward. And that's what science is all about.
Since then, Mikovits has changed course and now uses the retraction as proof of her persecution.
For exposing their deadly secrets, the minions of Big Pharma waged war on Dr. Mikovits, destroying her good name, career, and personal life.
The integrity of her research has also been brought into question when she appeared to reuse one of the figures from that original paper for a later presentation on completely different findings. Let's continue. The video goes on to insinuate that she was arrested for speaking out against Big Pharma.
They did everything in their powers to destroy your life.
Correct.
You were arrested?
Correct.
And so what did they charge you with?
Nothing.
But you were in jail.
I was held in jail with no charges.
Not true. She was charged with possession of stolen property and unlawful taking of computer data from her employer, both felonies.
No warrant. They searched my house without a warrant.
Not true, according to her own 2014 book in the state of California.
It was intended to appear as if I took confidential material, names, and intellectual property from the laboratory. And I could prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that I didn't.
Not according to a sworn affidavit from a coworker who stated on the record that they stole the notebooks in question from the lab and gave them to Mikovits upon her request. Let's move on to some more of the science.
There is no vaccine currently on the schedule for any RNA virus.
Not true. We have vaccines for heaps of RNA viruses. Influenza, measles, mumps, rubella, yellow fever.
Ebola couldn't infect human cells until we took it in the laboratories and taught him. In 1999, my job was to teach Ebola how to infect human cells without killing them.
Not true. The first Ebola outbreak was reported in 1976, killing 230 people.
The AMA was saying, doctors will lose their license if they use hydroxychloroquine.
Not true. The AMA doesn't have the power to take away medical licenses. That's a state-run process. Also, the FDA has allowed for hydroxychloroquine to be used under emergency circumstances. Although, spoiler alert, doesn't look like it's going to be a very useful treatment.
I've talked with doctors who have admitted that they are being incentivized to list patients that are sick or have died with COVID-19.
Yeah, $13,000 from Medicare, if you call it COVID-19.
It's true that hospitals get reimbursed more for treatment for COVID-19 patients. However, there are no reports of doctors inflating numbers. And even if they were, that reimbursement only applies to US facilities. And last I checked, the coronavirus has affected a few other countries outside of the US.
Wearing the mask literally activates your own virus. You're getting sick from your own reactivated coronavirus expression.
Wow, okay, so this is dangerous because it incites fear without any evidence at all. It's a tactic that is used extensively in this video to present so many different arguments that someone can't reasonably possibly refute all of them. And honestly, these tactics are pretty effective. This whole thing is exhausting, so I'm not going to go into every statement made in the video. But if you have seen Plandemic, I encourage you to apply healthy skepticism to its other claims. Misinformation is all around us right now. It's important that the data we consume is coming from reliable sources. For instance, peer-reviewed scientific literature is at the top, followed by expert opinions and official government reports. And on the next level is investigative reporting by a reputable news source. And then at the bottom, we have things like pundits, social media, blogs, websites, tabloids, and, gasp, YouTube videos. As such, I invite you to fact-check the claims I've made in this episode, and you should do that with other content as well. It's important to remember that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The burden of proof should rely on those making the claims rather than us who seek to set the record straight.
Finally, I want to call for a moratorium on all vaccination until a full investigation is done by the independent commission led by Robert F. Kennedy Jr.